Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan explained social contract, absolute monarchy, and political philosophy. Hello and welcome to the Discourse. Thomas Hobbes was a renowned English philosopher whose work laid the groundwork for modern political thought. Living through a period of immense upheaval, including the English Civil War and the execution of King Charles I, Hobbes developed a pessimistic view of human nature and the necessity of strong governance. A staunch royalist, he defended absolute monarchy as the only means of preventing societal collapse. His ideas were shaped by the chaos of his time, particularly the conflict between parliament and the crown, which he saw as evidence of humanity's inherent selfishness and tendency toward violence. Hobbes' philosophy was also influenced by the scientific revolution, as he applied mechanistic principles to politics, viewing the state as an artificial construct designed to maintain order. Major works. Hobbes' most famous work, Leviathan, published in 1651, remains a cornerstone of political philosophy. In it, he argues for an all-powerful sovereign to prevent the war of all against all, a state of nature where life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. The book introduces his social contract theory, where individuals surrender some freedoms to a ruler in exchange for security and stability. Hobbes also wrote De Cive, published in 1642, an earlier exploration of his political ideas, and Behemoth, published in 1668, an analysis of the English Civil War. Later in life, he translated Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, showcasing his broad intellectual interests. Key influences. Hobbes' thought was shaped by several key factors. The scientific revolution, particularly the works of Galileo and Descartes, led him to view politics in mechanistic terms, comparing the state to a machine that required a strong central authority to function. The English Civil War deeply affected him, reinforcing his belief that without absolute rule, society would descend into anarchy. Additionally, thinkers like Machiavelli influenced his realist perspective on power and human nature, which emphasized control and order over idealism. Hobbes versus John Milton. Hobbes' political philosophy directly clashed with that of his contemporary John Milton. While Hobbes defended absolute monarchy, Milton, in works like The Tenure of Kings and Magistrates and Defense of the English People, argued for republicanism and the right to overthrow tyrannical rulers. Hobbes saw religion as a destabilizing force, whereas Milton, though deeply religious, opposed state-imposed religious doctrine. Their differing views reflect the broader ideological struggles of the 17th century England between royalists and republicans, order and liberty. Hobbes' concept of the Commonwealth. Central to Hobbes' political theory is the idea of the Commonwealth, a society formed through a social contract in which individuals relinquish some freedoms to a sovereign in exchange for protection. The sovereign, whether a monarch or ruling assembly, holds absolute power, ensuring civil peace and preventing the chaos of the state of nature. Hobbes likens the Commonwealth to an artificial person, a body politic structured like a human body, with a sovereign as its head. This analogy underscores his belief that a strong, unified authority is necessary for survival and prosperity. Social contract theory. Example, traffic laws. Hobbes' social contract theory can be illustrated through everyday examples like traffic laws. Without rules, such as traffic lights, individuals would act in their own self-interest, leading to accidents and disorder. Similarly, Hobbes argues that without a strong government, humans would revert to constant conflict. In a functioning society, citizens agree to obey laws and submit to authority in exchange for security and the protection of their rights. This principle applies whether the government is monarchy or a democracy. Stability depends on collective submission to a ruling power. Hobbes on religion and divine right. Though not particularly religious himself, Hobbes supported the divine rights of kings as a means of ensuring political stability. Hobbes' views on religion were complex. He acknowledged the role of religion in providing a basis for morality and social order, but he also criticized religious leaders for potentially manipulating belief to challenge the authority of the sovereign. He believed that religious doctrine, when interpreted in a way that challenged the established political order, could lead to civil unrest. He believed that religion often fueled conflict, pointing to the Catholic-Protestant divisions that contributed to the English Civil War. To prevent such discord, Hobbes argued that the sovereign should have control over religious doctrine, ensuring uniformity and preventing dissent. His pragmatic approach to religion reflects his broader philosophy. The state's primary role is to maintain order, even if it requires suppressing individual freedoms. Legacy. Hobbes' ideas have had a lasting impact on political philosophy, influencing later thinkers like John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and modern political theorists. While his advocacy for absolute authority has been criticized, his exploration of human nature, the social contract, and the necessity of governance remains foundational. Hobbes' work continues to be studied in debates about state power, individual rights, and the balance between freedom and security, cementing his place as one of history's most important political philosophers. So this is it for today. We will continue to discuss the history of English literature. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.